Alright, YouTube, stocks by the numbers. Welcome back. Today I wanted to do a quick update on Enovix Corporation. We haven't looked at it since all the way back here about the tail end of April. I think I may have mentioned it a couple of times since then in the Discord, though. Discord link in the description of every video. But Enovix Corporation, ticker symbol ENVX, listed here on the NASDAQ. Stock now sub $10, $9.85, down 36 cents, about 3.5% here on the day. And obviously, after I made my last video, the stock ended up climbing back inside of this rising wedge and then somehow broke out above it because, of course, it probably began trending and everybody started piling in. So obviously, this is what I mean when I talk about like these meme stocks and whatnot. Did it have an explosion and did you like double your money if you got in? Yeah, probably, absolutely. But also at the same time, if you bought this stock like all the way back here, early 23, as it began this rally, and you got in at sub 10, and then all of a sudden the stock's at $21, $23, or wherever it went, for you to not sell, honestly, I mean, in my opinion, you're a fool. Because again, coming out, yes, they posted $1 million, but of course, at the same time, we looked at the market cap, and the market cap was a little out of control. Even now, the market cap is still sitting at $1.6 billion. Overall, in my opinion, I think it's still extremely overvalued. And even after that, while the stock was in this fake-ass bullish pop here that I'm assuming you all caused, I mean, again, congratulations. I really hope that a handful of you out there made some nice money here and saw some nice returns on this move. But again, this was more of a trader's move. So anyone who bought the stock saw a massive explosion and probably thought it was going to become some life-changing situation. And then, of course, the market all took it away. And basically, it goes back to the numbers. This is what I always say. Again, I would rather miss this random explosion, right? So at $10, $12 the whole time up, I knew that it was already overvalued. And then once you guys popped it up here above 20, in my opinion, if I had the liquidity, I would have stepped in right there and I would have completely shorted and grabbed puts and completely bet against this stock. And even if you went way out of the money, again, you're looking at mid-July on the first pop and then July 27th on the second pop here up to almost 24. And that's what I mean. At that 22, 23 mark, the whole time it was running back up, I would have stepped in. I would have completely bet against the stock. And even going just a couple of months out, but going extremely out of the money, buying like 12.5s or $10 puts, probably would have been very, very cheap. And obviously, as you look now, just within the last couple of months, you would have made bank. And you probably, honestly, would have made more on the downside than on the upside, right? Because all the kids were betting on the upside. So that's why I always say work smarter, not harder. But it did have the rally. So, again, I have to give credit where credit is due. I mean, you guys were talking about it. You were all pumped about it. And then, you guys broke the stock out and brought it up to above 20. So that's why I'm saying if you were involved, awesome. I'm not here to bash the entire situation, but I'm just here now after the dust has settled that you see where the stock is really going. And as you see here, we have back-to-back really crappy quarters here, missing on a measly $40,000 estimate, and then $48,000 estimate they missed again. And next quarter here, you can see now estimates jump up to 123,000. So very curious to see what the company reports here. Next quarter earnings November 7th. But in my opinion, it should come all the way back down here to like 7.5, basically almost right where it was before it began rallying. Now, granted, a couple of things did come in. However, it's funny that you're all pumped about this company saying, they're the wave of the future, yet they, just had to lay off like a couple of hundred people. And now randomly, they're refocusing the facility from a manufacturing hub, right, which is supposedly what they needed to increase efficiency and get losses in line, right, and better their margins. Now it's the Center for Innovation. So that kind of threw people for a loop. Now it says they're getting rid of about 185 personnel, looking to save about $22 million annually. I'm pretty sure the losses are outweighing that. But now here, this is interesting. Look at this. Due to this strategic shift, Enovix in the third quarter cut off production at 24,000 small cell units, less than management's guidance of 36,000 cells. So they came in 33% light on that guidance. Enovix did not produce enough custom cells in the third quarter, primarily for the U.S. Army program, excuse me, which I believe was one of the catalysts that all you exploded the stock even higher to. Right? I think the stock was what, maybe like 12 and change or something. And then I remember this U.S. Army order came in, and I even said, I was like, who knows how much the order's for? It could be, just for a couple of thousand. Like, you don't know. And now on top of it, as we see here, expecting 200,000 total revenue off of this situation. And that's what I'm talking about. We bring these stocks up to these insane heights that they don't belong at. And then when the money actually does start to come in and hit the tape, you can see that it's nowhere near the comparison of revenue to market cap. I mean, it's just not even in the same ballpark. So that's why I'm saying, even now with the stock here, 982, down with the market cap of sub 1.6 billion we just saw. I mean, that can easily get cut in half. Especially they're bringing in thousands, couple of 100,000. I mean, again, if we cut the stock in half back to $5, that market cap would still be 800 million for a company that, again, is just kind of finding its footing and apparently is now having some production issues to boot. So that's why I'm saying, like, when I look at these situations and I say my analysis, again, of course, I can be wrong. We're all human. Everyone's wrong. I've been wrong before. We've gone back. We've looked at a few situations where I was wrong. And again, even in this situation, because, I probably, if you asked me on the way up there at $14, $15, oh, would you have bought it? My answer would have been no. However, the stock went above 20, right? So technically, in the immediate short term, I was wrong. So if you're a trader, you can say, yeah, hey, listen, you got that one wrong. We popped it above 20. Me and my friend, we made a bunch of money. And listen, awesome, fantastic. But again, looking at the overall big picture, looking at the health of the company and their current situation, this stock should have been nowhere near 12 or 15 or 18 or 23.90, wherever the hell you bought it. The stock should not even be at 9.80. And again, I appreciate the fact that, they may be bringing some revolutionary piece of shit to the table, and down the road, it can have a massive impact on the entire industry, and they can start signing deals with everyone and their brother. And then if they start bringing in a couple of 100 million a year, then you can say, okay, it should be trading at like a 5 or 7 times multiple, so it should be now at, 2 billion and change or something. None of that business has taken place yet. So that's why I always say I'd rather miss a rally and then, oh, you guys took it to the moon? All right, no problem, because I basically know almost 100% guaranteed that the stock is going to tank back down to where it was before all this nonsense took place. And, that's basically it. That's why I always say work smarter, not harder. Should you chase a trending meme stock? Are you getting in late? Blah, blah, blah. Just wait for them to take it up, honestly. Miss the rally up, because people forget you can make money on the way down as well. So miss the rally up. Go ahead, let them take it from 12 to 20, and then you come in and you keep it on the watch list. Say, holy crap, the thing's at 21.5 right now. All right, I'm going to start buying puts, 2-3 months out. It has to come back down. It has to. And then you saw that is exactly what happened. All of through August, all of through September, minus this slight jump here, the stock went from 24 to sub 10, right? So that's what I mean. When they don't deserve to be up, they don't hold their value. So that's why you should never chase it. Like, oh, did I miss it? Should I get in and ride the wave? Like, forget that. Got Emmanuel Hernandez to retire from the board of directors here. This was a good positive catalyst here. Enovix batteries chosen for FDA-approved accurate mini blood pressure monitor. Right? So that's what I mean. They're starting to branch out. They're starting to get more clientele and sign more deals. And that's what I mean. That's fantastic. But when a company is at that stage, in my opinion anyway, from what I've seen over the years, in my opinion, the market cap should not exceed 1 billion in this situation. And that's what I'm saying. Down the road, years from now, will we potentially laugh at that low valuation because of how well the business is doing? Yes, probably, more than likely. However, again, if you started a company right now and you brought in $1 million and then you brought in 20 grand and then 40 grand and now you're having production issues and you're 33% short on the production of the cells that you were going to put out, like, no one's going to come and offer you $1.5 billion for your company. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I always compare it to. Like, and I try to tell everyone, well, just give my opinion, give my advice. I try to explain to you guys that you have to be here on planet Earth when you look at these situations. I understand some of them are overinflated in value and some stocks just climb no matter what, so you want to be a part of everything. I can appreciate that. But again, there is no need to force your way in at $12 or $14 or $19 here when we knew it would come back down to sub 10. That's what I'm talking about. And again, did you miss a big rally? Yeah. But I would hope that some of this money that you have on hand would be used more towards, well, not more, but a piece of it, at least, should be used for building and accumulating positions for a longer-term portfolio. Not just, oh, what's popping today, what's trending, what could I make money on today or this week. I understand if you want to have some short-term cash and you want to do some trading and try to make yourself some fast cash. I respect it. But again, also on the flip side, we know, looking at a lot of these larger companies, if you look overall at the chart, we can see clearly that it just takes time and, compounding investing. And again, if we turn around many, many years from now and all of a sudden Enovix is, at like $150 a share or something like that, if you got in at like $7, remember, every $7 move, you're technically doubling the original principal again, right? Think about that. So that's why if it takes years and you're able to build positions like this at the ideal price entries, that's why I always talk about pricing and timing. When you can get in at the ideal price entries and then all of a sudden years down the road the stock actually does balloon up in value and become a big brand name player in the space, now the freaking thing is moving 7 to 10 points a day. So, you have the ability almost every day to wake up and have the double of the original principal amount every day as a gain. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why a situation like this, did I miss a rally? Yeah, but also at the same time, if I, in my opinion, could, advise you again to get in at an ideal longer-term price, like 6.5 or, sub 6 even, in my opinion, that's really where it should be. And that's what I mean. If we don't really focus on this thing until it's $5, and then essentially, unless there's a massive market crash several years from now, the stock may never see this $5 level again, then obviously you are in the best position out of almost every shareholder on record. That's what I'm trying to do for you guys. And also going back here, about a month ago, you can see Enovix rises after acquiring Korean battery maker Root Jade. I don't know, some people say Route, some people say Root. But that apparently is a good sign, because I know they're saying now that they're like over there in Korea and they're near like the raw materials and it's going to help with the whole situation and whatnot. So listen, obviously that's a pretty decent sign. And now I believe they will like immediately have that business and that revenue on their balance sheet, if I read it correctly. And that's why, as we see here now, estimates are sitting at almost 124,000 now for this quarter. So we're going to have to wait and see. But again, in my opinion, I think it should come down really into these earnings. And of course, even if the company makes, 100,000 and change, I mean, that still doesn't justify a, $1.5 billion market cap valuation. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I could come back in about 2 weeks' time, it looks like, and do an update video here on Enovix after they post their earnings. And we can see maybe where it might potentially go, if we can get in a better price, or if it's sitting, where it is now, and we should jump in. So we'll see. But looking at the daily here on stock charts, you can see we've, again, been in the massive downtrend for several months. The few tiny moments we did break like that 30 benchmark You could see like a slight little bump up, a slight little rally up, just because the stock, I guess, was massively oversold on paper. But you can see that the MACD relatively seems to be looking basically flat. And in my opinion, the stock is actually going to tick a little bit lower and potentially form like a double bottom here, and could potentially form like a descending triangle and then take another leg lower. But, again, that's just a prediction, and we always say that it's easier to react as opposed to predict. But, just throwing it out there. But here, looking at the weekly, you can see bottom Bollinger Band down here at 863. So that's why I'm saying right now, look, see how the MACD's just been consistently dropping for the last several months here on this big drop down. That's why I feel it's definitely going to go lower, in my opinion, before it goes higher. And you can see, 863 might be realistic for the immediate short term before you potentially have a little bit of a bounce back. And the RSI on the weekly is still sitting up here at 37.5, so hasn't quite hit that benchmark yet. Basically, this is the low. Is this the same level? Yeah, basically the same level since all the way back from when the bull dropped, before the BS rally took place. So that's why, in my opinion, also looking at the chart here, if we back out, right, we have our high here, and then we have a lower high, and now recently we made that lower high, and we're going back down, and here you have your lows, and then we have lower lows, and then we have lower lows. So that's why, it could very possibly drop about 50% in value and meet up down here with this bottom trend line here that's coming across. That could very well happen. So this could get to $5 potentially. Will they bring it down low? I'm not really sure. Again, they may try to keep it maintaining that billion-plus market capitalization value. But, yeah, in my opinion, I wouldn't be a buyer yet. And again, I know a lot of people may come at me in the comments talking about the hype behind the situation. Listen, I believe in the company. I do. Long term. Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. But again, we need the money to come in to justify these valuations. Otherwise, we will make that lower low, and that's what I mean. Still at this level, I wouldn't force my way in at 980 or 10 and a quarter, because in my heart of hearts anyway, in my opinion, like, I know if I wanted to take a position, I can get this for probably like 6 and change, low 7s minimum. So, that's just my opinion, but I'll end it there. So once again, this is Stocks by the Numbers. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it down in the comments section. I'm usually very quick to reply. Thumbs up, algorithm, share the video. Helps me get more eyes on the channel, right? Helps out the whole situation. And of course, subscribe to the channel. That is our handshake agreement. I will do updates on Enovix, talk about brand name blue chip stocks, and of course, I make some short-term call-outs when I see them. Just give my opinion for some trades in the Discord. Again, link in the description of every video. And I'll do all of that for you guys. All I ask is do me one favor. Push the subscribe button. That is how you help me help you. But more importantly, moving forward, like I do always say, I understand markets are rocky and volatile and very uncertain. So I want to wish all of you success. Hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. I want you to have a good weekend. Rest up. Get some R&R. Try not to think about this situation, right? Let your mind be clear. And if you're in a rough position, we'll hit it up next week, and we'll try to get a rebound for you. And obviously, if you're doing well, then we got to ride that wave. We got to keep it going. But again, I'll end it there. Thanks for stopping by. I wish you all the best. Have a good weekend.